You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
She's Claudine Cooper, the best exercise lady. On Wellness Wednesday, the best exercise lady. She will teach you all there is about wellness and fitness. And as her motto says, a short workout is better than no workout. Oh, better than no workout, baby.
KFI AM 640. It's Wellness Wednesday on Later with Mo Kelly. And it's always a treat to have the Claudine Cooper join us in studio. You may not have seen her for the past couple of weeks because she's been very, very busy doing the wellness thing outside the confines of this studio. Claudine, it's great to see you again. How are you?
Oh, I'm happy to be back in the lab with you guys, you crazy kids.
I happen to believe that the world is making more room for you and your blessing. And that's my way of saying that because you're doing good things and putting it out there, it comes back to you in, two and threefold. So you may not have as much time for us. I don't take it personally. I take it as symbolically you are growing. And, the world is making room for your blessings. So I say congratulations to you. I know you have a lot of irons in the fire. But before we went forward, I want to make sure we acknowledge that a lot of good things are happening over there for you.
Well, I will say this. I am very blessed and thankful to do a job that I love. Not only that I love, but I feel passionate about creating access in wellness, in fitness for people who may not be able to access it otherwise.
Fitness, wellness, they are two sides of the same coin. Mm-hmm. They mean a lot of the similar things, but they're not exactly the same. And for our topic tonight, I'm reminded, on the back of my way into this, I'm reminded of how many people usually clown me, make fun of me, because I'm usually just walking around the building or I'm marching in place, because I work in radio, a 3-hour radio show, and it's very easy to end up sitting, if I get in at 4 o'clock, for 6 hours.
Oh my God.
Unless I'm intentional about trying to avoid this sedentary lifestyle. And I look to you, and you're, teaching, I don't know how many classes a day. You're always moving. So you may not have to actively consider that. But for many people, even people who are maybe watching on YouTube or they're listening on the iHeartRadio app or terrestrially, they may spend hours upon hours of a given day, any day, all days, just sitting. What is the downside to that?
Well, there's a few things. First of all, people think just because I teach fitness classes that I'm always moving. And I do move more because I have a physical job. But the truth is, all of us, Mo, you, me, Carnisha, everybody who is listening, we all spend way more time than we should in seated position. Whether it's because of our jobs or driving, like today, I drove out here to Burbank. It took me an hour, so I was seated for an hour. Prior to that, I went and picked up a salad. I sat down and ate my salad. If you really start to count up the amount of time you're spending sitting, any of us can say we spend way more time sitting in 2025 than we may have spent sitting even 20 years ago, to be honest with you. Things have changed dramatically. And so I've been doing some research on sedentary lifestyle. And what I've found is that doctors are saying that our cognitive health is impacted by a sedentary lifestyle. We've always known that long periods of sitting are unhealthy, right? Mm-hmm. But now they're starting to make a correlation between things like Alzheimer's, dementia, memory loss, lack of cognitive abilities. They're making this connection with sedentary lifestyle.
I know you're not a doctor, but
no.
Am I wrong if I were to say there's something obviously in the connection of movement, blood flow, and also brain blood flow?
Well, you've been to my class, Mo, so now I'm going to back into it.
Okay.
So you've heard me teach my workout and then say good morning or hello to the participants. For example, hey, Mo, hey, Tawala, hey, Carnisha. And knowing people's names is something that your memory is used for. And people always ask me, how are you able to remember everyone's name?
I've asked you that at least 5 times.
You have. And I share that because I truly believe, first and foremost, I will say I've always had a good memory. Do you remember back when we had to memorize phone numbers?
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to stop you because I want you to think back and tell me this. To this day, could you recite your childhood phone number to me right now?
Yes, if only because my mother still lives in the house of where I was as a child.
And has the number?
And has the number. Yes. But those are very specific that I was drilled into my head. In other words, I remember my very first phone number I had when I was living in that house, and I got my own phone, it was a touch-tone phone. But if you were to ask me Tawalla's number, I don't know. I could get maybe 5 or 6 of the digits, or I may mix up some of the digits. We don't require ourselves to remember
numbers. How about
numbers.
your wife's phone number?
Yes, that one I do remember.
Okay.
Because I want to live.
I was just going to say, my point is I can recite to you my husband's phone number. I can recite to you the number to my job. So there's a few things I think we should all be working on a daily basis. And even though we have our phones that help assist us with a lot of different things, if an emergency happens and you need to call someone, you have to have at least one person's phone number memorized that you can reach out to if you don't have access to your contacts.
You mean like getting arrested?
I didn't say that, but you said it.
I'm just asking questions. That's all I do as a host.
What reason would you not have your cell phone? I don't know. I'm just saying. But these brain exercises, another one is try a different route when you go somewhere. Like tonight, I didn't take my usual route to get to Burbank. And to be honest, I did get turned around because this isn't my normal stomping grounds. And that's when I relied on my GPS. But for the most part, I made it all the way to Burbank with no GPS. But then when I was on the other side, I was like, where am I going? I used my GPS. But I share that with you to say that our brain is a muscle and it needs to be exercised. If it's memorizing names or if it's memorizing numbers or if it's trying a new route, if it's not using your GPS, if it's reading a book instead of listening to the audible version, we definitely have to work this muscle. And also movement is one way. You said blood flow and all of that. I don't know the technicalities behind it. I'm not a doctor, but what I do know is I've been exercising consistently for 32 years and my memory is still very sharp at 50 years old.
You're not 50. I think you just came in and started lying at 49. You're actually like 32.
This gray hair says what it says.
Let me ask you this. Do you remember the phone numbers of all your children?
I don't want to. I plead the fifth. Because I remember one and then I don't remember the other two. So, I've got 3 kids. I should memorize all of them.
No, it's really hard because those numbers, you hear them maybe once or twice. It's not being reinforced.
Mm-hmm.
With my wife's phone number, it's being reinforced in a number of ways. My home phone number from when I was growing up, that never changed. So I never had any reason to worry about not remembering it.
Yeah.
Now, if you ask me what my sister's phone number is, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Now, my brother's phone numbers, I still have memorized. My husband's phone number, yes. Grandmother, yes. Parents, yes. Now, everybody else, my kids ain't bailing me out of jail. I mean, emergency cases.
Have any of those numbers changed over the years? I know my number, and I only have a mobile phone number, has not changed this century. So the people who hated me back then or whatever, they can still find me, if they knew my number at any time.
You said pull up on me.
That's right. Because you never know.
And listen, I've had the same number since 1999 as well. So for me, it's, it's, you can find me too. But don't tell anybody that.
Hopefully the people I don't like, they done forgot my number.
Right.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. I'm joined in studio by Claudine Cooper. We're talking about all things health and wellness. Be sure to go to ClaudineCooper.com for more information. In fact, we'll have more with Claudine in just a moment. KFI AM 640, we're live on YouTube if you'd like to see what Claudine looks like. And also we're live on Instagram, Facebook, and the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And we're still in the middle of Wellness Wednesdays with Claudine Cooper. And if you haven't, please go to ClaudineCooper.com. She is doing wonderful things, not only here in the community, but also she has other projects. She's also available for seminars and also working with other corporate entities. I'll just leave it at that. I'll let you tell people as you feel comfortable. But all of it, and correct me if I'm wrong, stems from this desire to help people with however you can, right where you are. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in a particular physical gym setting. You'll just meet people in the community.
So one thing I'm really passionate about is taking the excuses out of movement. And I feel like a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't have a gym membership, or maybe I should get the shaker weight, or maybe I should do
Take me back. I'm sorry.
I had to say that because the
shake weight,
the number of apparatus, how do you say it?
Apparati for plural.
Okay. It's crazy the amount of things they come up with where people are like, this is the one. I'm going to order this one, and this is going to make me dedicate myself to fitness. When in fact, as long as you have your body, even if you don't have full working use of your body, you can still do something. And that is what I like to impress upon people. And yes, you are right, Mo. Doors have been opening for me professionally, but it's a long accumulation of 30 years of working in this industry. And now wellness is trending.
Denzel Washington, I think he was the person I first heard say it. He says, you may know my glory, but you don't know my story. In other words, they want to see you in the success that you've achieved, the accolades that you earned, but they don't necessarily see all the work leading up to that point. And I think there is a correlation when you talk about someone's body or shape or level of fitness. They say, oh my gosh, you're only a size 2. It's like, yeah, but I'm working out every damn day.
Every day. And I say this in also having much respect for all different situations and circumstances, because everyone doesn't have full working use of their body for whatever reason. But what I do like to try to help people do is find ways to use what they got to get what they want. So even if you can't, let's say you have bad knees. That's a real common one. Bad knees. I just posted on my Instagram about my knees. My knees make a lot of noise these days. It's snap, crackle, pop.
You too? You're human after all.
I'm a human after all. However, I don't allow that to prevent me from still moving my body. But here's some ways that I have downgraded from doing high intensity movement to doing less impact. One of the ways is I don't do a lot of jumping or running anymore. It's less. I do it occasionally, but before I would jump and run almost every day. Now, the other thing too is I'm incorporating more recovery into my workout regimen, right? Recovery can be anything from water therapy, meaning you can go in the pool, you can swim laps, you can walk up and down the lane of the pool. Another way to recover would be yoga or stretching, mobility and recovery, right?
Yes.
Then I teach Pilates, and Pilates is a healing modality. It's a combination of stretch and strength and stability and breath work. And believe it or not, since we have reintegrated into society, people have been not breathing. I know that sounds crazy because how are we alive?
I
if
know
we're
exactly
not breathing?
what you mean. Go with that. Please go with that.
But what I've noticed is that when we take a short breath, for example, we go like this, instead of a long breath, like, the short breath, it incites a certain level of anxiety.
And it raises your blood pressure.
And it raises your blood pressure.
And we can just go from there. How it could, there's a cascading effect.
A big cascading effect of negative health outcomes. And so encouraging people to just simply take a deep breath is something I never thought that I would be doing in my wellness work, but it has become the center of what I do every day.
I do it as well. It's something that we teach in my particular martial arts, the meditation aspects of just, and we have a saying, long breath, long life. The longer you breathe and the longer your individual breaths, the longer your life will be. So I knew where you were going with that. And I'm just co-signing because it's something that I swear by and I wish more people knew about. You get a lot of health benefit from just controlling and monitoring your own breathing.
Also, going back and circling around to sedentary living, which we talked about in the beginning of this show, is sitting down is not the best way to pull breath in. So when we sit down, we naturally slump our shoulders forward, our stomach naturally protrudes, and our lungs are not getting the most air. So one of the things I've started to do with my corporate wellness work, meeting people right where they are, if they're sitting at their desk, I simply ask them to just pull their shoulders back. You can even work on your breath from seated. But what I really want people to do is find ways to move throughout the day.
Yes.
And I see you walk your laps around this floor, you get up, you do your stretches. Those kinds of things can make an incremental change in how our body responds to stress, how productive we are, how we feel in our mood, our emotional health, as well as getting up and moving around also encourages us to talk to the people that are around us.
I don't want to talk to any of these people. I don't like half of them.
They love you. And I saw a couple of them come in and chat with us. Hey, Mark. Hey, Foosh. We saw them come in and chat with us during the break. And I say that to say that our social health has also suffered in this sedentary lifestyle.
Say that one more time, because I don't think people got that. I think it went over some of their heads.
Our social and emotional health are impacted by a life that is spent sitting down, scrolling the internet, looking at the TV, binge watching Netflix.
Come on now.
You're
Preach.
not outside. You're not getting any fresh air. You're not getting any sunlight, and you're not opening yourself up to talking to people who are outside walking their dogs or strolling their babies or whatever it might be. I say, get up, get out, move around, breathe.
While they're breathing right now, let's remind people how they can find you. I know that the summer session for your community workouts has ended, but what else are you up to that people might be able to partake?
Well, first and foremost, I'm always going to be teaching classes, whether I'm outside or inside. I have a couple different options where people can find me. You can go online. You can always follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc. Or you can find me on the website, ClaudineCooper.com. But I oftentimes just invite people to come see me at the gym. You know, my schedule at the gym varies, but I teach Pilates, I teach sculpt, I teach strength training, HIIT classes, and everything in between. But I love for people to come visit and just check out the gym, use the amenities. You can always be my guest.
you can always be our guest here on Lay with Mo Kelly. Claudine Cooper, it's always good to see you. Even though I know you're extremely busy and you're being pulled in any number of directions, we don't take it for granted, and we're appreciative that you do manage to take this drive out to Burbank, albeit maybe different path or different route each time to keep your brain functioning.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I love coming out here, and I miss you when I'm not here. Thanks, guys.
She misses everyone except you, Mark.
Don't say that. Mark is my boy.
There, see?
With his chicken bone broth.
There you go.
Tell all your business now on the air.
There we go. I'm not ashamed of my chicken bone broth.
That's right.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mr. Mo Kelly here. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and the iHeartRadio app. And we often talk about what is blowing up on social media. In fact, at the top of the hour, I'll be joined in studio, of course, by Tiffany Hobbs as we get into the viral load. She's back. She was off for a week, but now she is back. And I'm surprised this next story was not part of the ones that she will be featuring tonight. I don't spend a lot of time on TikTok. It doesn't have an ecosphere or whatever they want to call it that is conducive to what I want to do. It's not like I'm going to learn a whole lot from TikTok. I'm not going to do any of the TikTok challenges. I'm not going to do any of the TikTok dances. It doesn't have any real utility for me. But for millions and millions and millions of other people, especially younger people, it's everything. I don't quite get it, but it's everything for them. And they have these challenges, as I've said, and they have these hacks. In other words, life hacks, or these shortcuts where you can work your way around certain problems, or allegedly, if you follow the advice of people who are on TikTok. There is a so-called migraine cure, which is connected to McDonald's. I said so-called. This is according to influencers on TikTok. And they're calling it the McMigraine. The so-called McMigraine meal from McDonald's, of course, has gone viral. And get this, it's just a specific food order that you can get from McDonald's. And you would think that it's not exclusive to McDonald's, but only McDonald's is getting the credit. It calls for one large Coca-Cola and a large fry. I don't get migraines, but I've heard they're just debilitating. I've heard that just turning on the lights is too much for those who get migraines. It's one of those things that people will do anything to have the migraine subside. And I get it. People would probably be willing to try a large Coke and a large fry, but I don't exactly know how and why it actually works, or if it works at all. And here's the thing. We were just talking to Claudine Cooper about health and wellness. I don't know if there's any health or any wellness in a large Coke and a large fry. And don't get me wrong, I love some McDonald's fries. I just don't eat them anymore. One large order of fries at McDonald's contains 777 milligrams of sodium. That's about half of what I'm allowed on a day-to-day basis. And 9.5 grams of saturated fat. That's just one order of fries. And you put it with a large Coke, and that large Coke has 100 grams of added sugar. Thank goodness I don't drink any soda. I'm not sure how this migraine is supposed to work. According to the doctors, it doesn't. But if it helps you in your migraine, I guess, Twala, do you suffer from migraines?
No, but my co-parent and my son get the absolute
you did say
worst
your son.
migraines ever. And it's almost like when he gets them, debilitate. He can't do anything. Nothing helps.
I know my youngest blended son, he used to get him. He doesn't get him as an adult, but he get him as a child. And he was virtually incapacitated. He couldn't walk into a room where there was light on. He would vomit incessantly.
Yeah.
And I know it's horrible for someone. I'm just trying to figure out the link between the sugar and the salt and the migraine.
Yeah, it's weird. Like there are some things that I know, like his mother would be able to do, something she used to put under her tongue and all type. There's like everything. She's gotten acupuncture. She's gotten shots from what is that substance called? Not collagen shots, but she's gotten some type of shots to try to help everything. And sometimes it's to a point where it's like, nah, nothing can help.
Look, I hear colloquially that caffeine constricts blood vessels, and if you add sodium, that helps constrict your blood vessels. Or if you were to raise your blood sugar quickly, that's supposed to help with the migraine. And so if you believe that, then yes, if you were to add sodium and sugar in like a sugar salt bomb, then that would help with migraines.
I could almost see that. I know when someone's younger, we used to get him a small cup of coffee, and that would help to regulate him. It really would. It would help a lot. Like a small cup of coffee, you would get a small thing from Starbucks or wherever, and that used to actually help. But it's like, I don't know if he's grown out of it. And now even when he comes to work, at the school with me, he'll go and start off his morning. He said, look, I just got to get a cup of coffee. Not because he's tired, not because he needs to wake up, because he's just sometimes for him, it does help him like deal with migraines every once in a while. So yeah.
Okay. So there may be some connection if you talk about it from a caffeine or sugar perspective.
Yeah, but I'd be damned if I start telling people like, go get some McDonald's for your migraine. That sounds crazy.
And not only that, it's not like McDonald's is the only place where you can find Coca-Cola or a large fry. If it's the sodium and salt, which is a big deal, I'm quite sure you can get it at In-N-Out or wherever they sell sodas.
Unless they're saying McDonald's fries are saltier than others. Maybe,
but they got salt shakers everywhere.
Yeah, because I was thinking, because I don't really suffer from migraines, but I was thinking maybe just that smell, because McDonald's has that fragrance. So I thought maybe that had something to do with it. Because, yeah, you can get fries, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, wherever. But McDonald's has a very specific fragrance. I'm wondering if maybe that has something to do with it.
Foosh, you might not be, you're not that off, only because I have seen different smelling salts that some people use for migraines. Not like the get knocked out smelling salts, but just different fragrances, different aromas can help to soothe. So that could be something as well. Maybe why it's McDonald's more than, say, like Burger King. Ain't no one going to Burger King.
Yeah, I just don't know. There's no one in my immediate family other than my youngest son who experienced migraines. But I understand if something is going to be that painful, that incapacitating, that debilitating, you're willing to try anything.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely anything.
Oh yeah, I've had to take my ex to ER to help with migraines before. It's crazy to see it happen to someone. It's like they're dying.
One thing I'm not going to try, no matter what, under any circumstances, I don't care if I have a migraine, I don't care if I'm dying, I am not going to try ice cream flavor inspired by Breastmilk.
Really?
No. I was a bottle baby.
I was going to try to get some.
No.
Bring it in.
No. We'll talk about it in just a moment. KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mo Kelly. We've talked any number of times about ice cream, like Thrifty ice cream, and how we have all of these great memories with ice cream. It could be because ice cream may remind us of birthdays or family get-togethers. Great moments are usually connected to ice cream. But I'm here to tell you, there is one flavor I will never try. I don't care if Mark happens to try it and says that he loves it. I don't care if Stefan says, hey, Mo, you need to open up and, broaden your horizons. I'm not going to try it. And it's this.
The new ice cream that's rolling out nationwide is breast milk flavored.
Huh? No. The
new ice cream that's rolling out nationwide is breast milk flavored.
Oh.
I don't care if it's Chi-Chi flavored, okay? I don't care. No.
Oh, that's not going to do it for me.
No, it's not going to do it for me either. Nope. I'm not having a little bit of it. I'm not having a scoop of it. I'm not having it in a Chi-Chi shake. No, it's not going to do it for me.
Oh, that's not going to do it for me. No,
I'm not making this up. All the women in the audience here just went, ew.
And the men too. Be clear. And the men too.
Ew. Okay, so Let's put some topping on that. First of all, when you
Did he say let's put some toppings on that? It sounded like he said toppings.
I swear he said toppings.
Okay, let's listen again. I think he said let's put some toppings on that.
let's put some topping on that. First of all,
Toppings?
Yeah.
Context? Toppings?
Let's put some topping on that. First of all, when you hear me say that, your first reaction is, like the ladies here, ew. But when you think about it a little more, your response might be, ew, because this ice cream, which as you can see is made by a parent company called Frito using the help of an ice cream company called Oddfellows, which is no big surprise, I guess, is intended to mimic the flavor of breast milk, which I'm fairly comfortable in saying not a single one of us can recollect in any way. We were young at the time, at least most of us.
Okay, I'm gonna say this though. This guy, he must not have children, because if he's talking about you recollecting all the way back to being a baby,
You had to
he's
taste it on
talking
your
to people
arm.
that aren't kids. Like,
Yeah.
I have tasted breast milk because I have 2 children and I've had to taste it just to, warming it up. Whatever.
Yes.
Not formula, but just, when I had to, get some out and freeze it, I thaw it out, taste it. It's not like, oh yeah, save me a cup, but still. It's not like, ew. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is coming from someone who I'm like, you're lying. You either don't have children, and you're probably, living somewhere with a bunch of comic books and cats. No hate to comic book and cat lovers, but
Like
I'm just
Mark.
saying you don't have kids. I'm just saying
oddly specific
you
to Mark.
don't have kids. If you're like, ew, you're not.
All I
And
can
any
say
woman
is-
saying, ew, is like, stop lying.
I've tasted it. That's all I can say.
Good
And
for
I'm not
you.
going to answer any more questions.
No, good for you.
Oh, they did
have
say
a-
it was flavored, so it's not actual breast milk. It's not made from the real thing.
Correct, Mark. Here we go.
In any way, we were young at the time, at least most of us. Okay, now that said, allow me to be the first to say there is no human breast milk in this ice cream.
There
It
you
is
go, Mark.
intended to mimic the taste. So what's in there? Well, according to Frida, it is primarily made of, and not surprisingly, milk, cream, sugar, egg yolks, and honey syrup. And now you're saying, well, wait a minute, where's the whole breast milk thing? Just wait. It turns out that it also has, and this isn't an easy thing to say, liposomal bovine colostrum.
Huh?
Liposomal bovine colostrum.
Yes.
Anything that has coloss in it, I'm thinking.
No, don't go colostomy.
I know where you're going.
I can't wait
go
till Ben and
colostomy.
Jerry's gets their hands on that. Crunchy colostrum.
Liposomal bovine colostrum.
Who was asking for this? Who really was asking for this flavor?
People who suffer from infantilism.
I'm just thinking, is there going to be like a fecal flavor next?
Okay.
Okay.
No, we're
Okay.
talking about bodily functions. No,
No, that's not.
sure?
That's not an obvious bodily anything you may want.
Do you think that's somehow equivalent to breast milk poop?
Do you think anyone is asking for breast milk ice cream? Asking for it?
there might be some people.
Look, don't act like there isn't some little group of men who are actually online searching for women who may be lactate. Look, I'm not gonna make that up. Never
Online,
mind.
and
Okay,
you
look,
haven't
just never
seen
mind.
2 Girls, 1 Cup.
But that's a fluke. That's something that's like only happened in the one time since that video came out.
What does that have to do with this?
Stefan, do you know what 2 Girls, 1 Cup is?
No, look, we don't
Unfortunately,
need. We don't need to know. We don't need to delve.
Okay, so I'm saying there is a
Look,
market out
there's
there.
a market, but no one publicly would put that in a store. There is
Well,
a.
that's my point
fascination-
too. We saw
No,
breast milk today.
No, there is a open fascination, and this could even be for children who are late in getting off of. I'm about to say the T, but no.
Oh, boy.
The Chi-Chi.
Yes, the late bloomers. Look, there's a lot of people who may want a little taste of breast milk.
Liposomal bovine colostrum.
Do not call it breast milk. It's liposomal something yada yada yada.
Okay,
colostrum.
we'll call it
Liposomal bovine
Liposomal
colostrum.
bovine
Bovine,
Thank you
as
for
in
that,
cows.
Scrabble.
Yeah.
And that is something that is created by cows after they give birth as part of the whole cows giving birth thing. Therefore, the taste of this breast milk will probably be recognizable to cows.
Well, you've had cow milk, haven't you? Of course you have.
Not after birth cow breast milk.
Let's just all grow up a little here. Listen, I was not breast milk fed, and if Freud had met my mother, he would have thrown that Oedipus stuff right out the window. But I'm saying this isn't as weird as you're trying to make it out to be.
Oh no, it's
not.
weird.
It's not.
Weird. I'm sorry. It's not even human breast milk. It's cow breast milk.
Look,
Liposomal bovine colostrum. Thank
It's
you for that,
pasteurized.
Scrabble. And that is something that is created by cows after they give birth as part of the whole cows giving birth thing. Therefore, the taste of this breast milk will probably be recognizable to cows, who aren't a big section of the consumer market, to the human beings out there, not so much. And so this is one of those things that you got to go, well, wait a minute, is this a real thing? And yeah, it really is. And if you're wondering what Frida says it tastes like, I got an answer for that. They say it tastes sweet, a little salty, okay, smooth, with hints of honey and sprinkles of colostrum. And allow me to...
What does colostrum taste like?
Got hints of cigarette smoke.
Not that I want to know.
Look, we act as if we did not and do not drink pasteurized cow milk. All that, all the process of pasteurizing cow milk does is it takes out the extra liposomal bovine colostrum.
Liposomal bovine colostrum.
Thank you. And it makes it more pure. But there are those who actually want a little heavier milk, a little heavy cream in their coffee. That is akin to the liposomal bovine colostrum.
Liposomal bovine colostrum.
So when you pour yourself a nice hot cup of coffee, you may want a little extra heavy cream.
Liposomal bovine colostrum.
And now that's going to be an ice cream.
Yeah. It gives a whole new meaning to cookies and
Liposomal bovine colostrum.
I think you are utterly overreacting. Hello.
Don't you dare.
Poosh. Come on, Poosh.
Don't you do it.
What's
Don't
it
you do
take
it.
around
Don't you do
here?
it. No.
I love it. I love it.
No.
Liposomal bovine colostrum.
You have to give one because Tuala actually laughed at that.
Liposomal bovine colostrum.
KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.